Hello and welcome back to the Canary Chat channel. We are back in familiar surroundings. No match day vlog today, unfortunately, but we do have a reaction to the game. So obviously Norwich have just finished playing Portsmouth away from home. It finished 2-1 to Norwich. We'll go through the games. We've got player ratings. We've got kind of Liam Manning's reaction as well to the game. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Just quickly, about 70% of the people watching this video are not subscribed. We've set a very audacious goal of trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the month. It's a huge ask, but if you're enjoying the Norwich City content, want to come along on the journey, click the subscribe button down below. And if you want to become a member and kind of support the channel even more, click the membership link in the description and that'll take you straight over to the membership page. So before we get into the actual game, let's get into the team. So we did line up with that 5-2-2-1 yet again. We had Kovacevic in goal, Stacey on the right. It was Medic, Darling, Cordoba. Then we had Diallo on the left. We had Topic and Nunes holding. And then the two cams were Emi Marcondes, Cernat and Sargent up top. So in regards to the game, it started off very positive and very kind of direct for Norwich. Nunes had a early free kick, just perfectly whipped in. No one around Harry Darling, and Harry Darling is there just to slot it home. Keeper didn't even move, basically. It was a very odd one. The reaction was very subdued from everyone. I think everyone was kind of half expecting a flag to go up or something to have happened to prevent the goal. But it didn't. 1-0, Norwich looking in a really strong position and we were really causing Portsmouth some issues. Portsmouth then started applying some pressure. They had a lot of corners in the first half. And from one of those corners, it was played short to Murphy. Murphy turned, whipped it in with his left foot, went through the whole of the 6-yard box. And then it came, I've forgotten the name of their player, but he was right at the back post. And Kovacevic dived across, great save from about 4 yards out, kept it 1-0, really kind of prevented a potential tide turning moment there with Portsmouth kind of looking to get immediately back into the game. Very tidy save, just got across it well, smothered it well, but certain keepers wouldn't have been able to do that, so definitely a positive for Kovacevic there. It was then about 1 minute later, I think, that we had a throw, and it was a long throw from Harry Darling. Liam Manning, in his post-match interview, has kind of said that they actually didn't really realise Darling had that in his locker, and they've been practicing, and with the pitch being slightly narrower, they saw it as a good opportunity for Darling to really try those. He threw it in. It was, I want to say, around about the edge of the 6-yard box. Cordoba flicked it on, and at the back post there was a bit of a medley scramble for the ball from Medic and Sargent kind of managed to dive in front of Medic to get the goal there. Took it to 2-0. Norwich felt very comfortable in that position. The press seemed to have been working well. Cordoba, I think, looked a little bit shaky in the first half, but away from that, yeah, it was very positive in all aspects. There was a couple of close calls for a potential penalty, which Cordoba kind of bundled into their player, and we've definitely seen games when they have been given. I thought Diallo looked pretty solid, put a few good crosses in as well. Not as effective as he was in the Watford game, but you can't expect that in every single circumstance that he's going to be as good as what he was against Watford. Second half comes and yeah, it's more of the same. We were slightly more tried to control the game a bit more. There were some early substitutions that we were forced into and others for tactical reasons. So Emi came off at half time, Nunes came off in I think the 49th minute due to a previous knock that he had earlier on in the first half, which somehow the ref didn't see. The player just scraped down Nunes' shin. So yeah, to be honest, I was surprised it was Emi that was coming off over Nunes at half time, but nevertheless it happened. Wright came on and I believe it was Fortau came on. in their place. And yeah, nothing too much changed in the game plan. We still tried to kind of control the game as much as possible. Towards the back end of the game, it was looking a lot more pressurised. Those 10 minutes of added time, but even from the 80th odd minute, there seemed to be a lot of pressure building. And yeah, the control of the game that we did have seemed to be slipping there. We then had a penalty given against us on the turn. Fisher absolutely booted their player, and he cut him in half with with it. It seemed like a lack of perception of where the player was. The ball kind of came over kind of his shoulder. He was watching the ball, went to welly it away, but as he did that, the player came in. It was tactically very well done from Portsmouth. Certainly no arguments to be had there. I don't think anyone was dreaming of arguing against that not being a penalty. Upset Bishop, who obviously scored a hat-trick against us at our place last year, which kind of sealed Thorpe's kind of end with Norwich. And you put it to his right, the keeper's left. Kovacevic dived to his left. Very comfortable save. It was a poor penalty, obviously. With penalties, if the keeper goes the wrong way, it's always a good penalty. If the keeper doesn't go the wrong way, it's always kind of arguably a bad penalty if he does save it. But yeah, it was perfect height. The fact that he caught it really showed just the position of it. Interestingly, when you actually watched him take the penalty, Kovacevic, a lot of kind of goalkeepers will stand on the line and push that kind of boundary of where their foot can be. Kovacevic was actually stood behind the line just before the penalty was taken, so he could propel himself forwards, which you don't actually see a lot kind of nowadays with goalkeepers now that that rule's been enforced. But it came in handy. He made the save. Again, another vital save after that one in the first half. You can't complain. Yeah, it's just all round very tidy performance from Kovacevic. It was then it was Siksic for Portsmouth, got the ball around I want to say about 19-20 yards, probably in line with the keeper's right hand post, or as you look at it, the left hand post. And yeah, he drilled one bottom corner. Did go through players. Kovacevic, I think, will probably be slightly disappointed with how he did there, because he did get a bit of a hand on it, but it was a very well struck shot. And yeah, went in bottom corner, and that left kind of the last 15-20 minutes as very, very nervy, especially, as I said, with that 10-minute added time. It did feel like that was going on for an eternity. What I would say is, when we were in that situation, I think what we lacked last year were players willing to put their bodies on the line and get in the way. It didn't seem like that this time. Players were diving in front of everything, tactical fouls. I mean, Harry Darling did a rugby tackle heel flip, basically, in like, what I say, about the 98th minute. Someone had gotten away from him, he just clipped the heel with his hand to stop him going. And it's that kind of tactical fouls, those diving in front of it. Medic was diving in front of everything. Wright, who came on, was diving in front of everything. There was a very close call towards the end. Wright dangled a leg, and I believe it was their left back dived over it. Ref blew the whistle. Fratton Park thought it was a penalty, but no, he was booked for diving. It was a very blatant dive. You could tell players had no interest in even trying to appeal it. So yeah, I think all in all, Liam Manning's reflections was around kind of, if you've got the hard work, the work ethic, other things will come after that. But if you've got the fundamentals, things will start moving in the right direction. That did feel like that today. Before today, we had only, I think, won 10 games out of our last 46 away from home. So we need that away form to really, really start ramping up if we want anything of a shout of getting playoffs. So yeah, very happy with the performance, very happy with us digging in and getting that over the line. And yeah, it's an extremely exciting time, I still think, to be a Norwich City fan. We do have our player ratings as well that we're doing after every game. So in regards to Kovacevic, we've given an 8 for me, man of the match. So as I say, potentially could have done slightly better for their goal. I think he would be disappointed in it because he's got the contact on it. I think normally keepers, if you get a contact in your head, you kind of think you should have saved it. But a superb save in the first half kept us in it. The penalty save was, he had to be there. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't an outstanding penalty save, but it was, he read the penalty brilliantly, and also he commanded his area really well. Any crosses that were coming in, he came for. There was a slight close call of palming it out on one of the crosses that nearly fell to one of their players, but all in all, very strong performance. Probably the reason why it's maybe not higher is that he wasn't peppered with shots. He wasn't getting absolutely kind of bombarded from Portsmouth, but when he was called upon, he did really well. Stacey, given a 6, didn't do kind of too much bad or good, just kind of a steady performance there. We've got Medic given a 7. I thought that was his best game yet. Seemed to cut out some of the mistakes that he's had in the past, and he's also had a few more kind of solid kind of passes, interceptions, just all round. I think it was one of his better games. Darling given an 8. He obviously got his goal. He got kind of that pre-assist from the throw-in. Once again, I think he is a superb defender, the kind of Rolls-Royce centre-back that we've been screaming out for in regards to that. So, yeah, I'd be very surprised if he ever drops below a 7, really, this season. Cordoba, given a 6. I would probably have given his first half a 5, second half a 7. I thought his second half was a lot more accomplished. And, yeah, the first half looked a little bit shaky in places. So Cordoba gets a 6. Diallo, a 6, few good crosses, less effective than he was against Watford. I think they identified that he could be an issue, so kind of took those precautions they needed to. Absolutely understandable. He still had some good moments, but didn't definitely shine as bright as the Watford game, but you can't expect that in every game. We did the Topic and Nunes pivot, both as 7s. Topic, again, recovered well. In places, he really reads the game superbly and ticks things over. Nunes, I thought, once again, has, I think, stamped a claim on being in the 11, starting 11. He wasn't, obviously, at the start of the season, like last week, but I think him and Topic are working really, really well together. He had a few opportunities. I think decision-making slightly questionable in some shooting positions, but yeah, I think another very good, steady performance from Nunes. Shame that he had to come off injured in the 49th minute. Emmy, 6, pressed well. Again, it felt a bit harsh. He only had one half to really show and do anything, so gone with a 6 there. Cernat, 6. I think he faded in and out of the game, but again, he was doing a lot of running towards the end of the game. And then Sargent, 7, shock, another goal. But yeah, just I felt a little bit quieter than usual. But again, I think that's props to Portsmouth on how they dealt with that situation. And you've got to think as well, it's another, he's had another captaincy again. I think there is now potentially a slightly stronger chance that he will stay. We'll do another transfer video probably tomorrow around all the transfer latest, but yeah, hoping he does now stay. Schwartau gave a 6. Again, he only had a half to come on. Didn't really exceed in anything. I think similar with Wright, he got caught out once or twice, got booked as well, I believe. But yeah, nothing crazy there for Wright. And then the only other one, we didn't do Schluppel scoring because they didn't really have long enough to make an impact. Fisher, we gave a 5, gave away the penalty. I think he looked quite shaky, to be honest, when he came on. I also think Schlupp looked quite shaky when he came on as well, making decisions I wouldn't necessarily expect an experienced player to be making. Whereas Kellen has obviously got that backup that obviously he's not as old or experienced as Schlupp. So yeah, those are our player ratings. So leave a comment down below if you agree with those. What did you think of the game? Again, leave a comment what your thoughts were. I think it's a great away victory. I think they had the 8th best home form last year, so they're no mugs at home. I actually think Portsmouth really looked all right, especially in the second half. I think just those first 2 goals took a bit of wind out of their sails. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, as always, like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video.